Pascal. You are now rocking with that dude Pascal. We be going wild, Haitian in the building, so original. Got the haters catching feelings. Get your hands up to the ceiling and keep them held high, cause St. Louis isn't ready. Forget about it, goodbye. Hold on, we just saying hi. Five somebody, rise up weekdays. Catch us live somebody, let's go.
Good evening. We got a late Saturday show for you guys. Welcome to the Pascal Show. Hope you guys are all doing well out there. Hope this show finds you in good spirits, because another day above the dirt is always a blessing, okay? And for those of y'all who are out there protesting peacefully and went home peacefully, thank you. But it looks like there is still more chaos going on in the streets. As much as that there was a huge, amazing turnout, as far as it being peaceful and all that, it was good and peaceful until just about a few hours ago. And then everything got really mucked up. Now, let me just say this. It is 8 o'clock in LA. I just want to say that really quick. 8 o'clock in LA. What does that mean? There is an 8 o'clock curfew in LA. And there are people still out there in these streets acting a damn fool. There's been a lot of stuff that we're going to look at here. There's been some updates, which I just did an update in regards to the assailant that tried to take the lives of multiple Minnesota lawmakers. That person is still at large as we speak, but there was some information that recently dropped, which was very, very interesting. I did that video just about an hour ago. I let that cook for a little while before we came up here to talk about everything in regards to this, to these protests that are now slowly but surely starting to go into riot mode. Just so you guys know, we got to get into some things. We got to get into this conversation, and yeah, we got to do it. Okay, so please do me a favor, hit that like button down below, crush it, do what it do. Hit that reaction button if you're watching on other platforms. In fact, I totally forgot. In these other platforms, hold on 1 second. Give me 2 seconds, guys. Dag nabbit, I forgot to do this, and I got to do it. Okay, 1 second, 1 second. And then we're going to continue on, baby. We're going to continue on, baby, to the break it down, baby. 1 second, guys. Showed. Let me just get that right. All righty. So, as I was saying, hit that like button down below. Hit that reaction button as well if you're watching on these other platforms. If you are watching on these other platforms like Facebook, X/Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Rumble, make sure you hit that follow button on those platforms, baby. Okay, because I'm on all of them. All right. Make sure you hit that follow button, of course. Hit that subscribe button here on the YouTubes. Okay. Go to my second channel on YouTube called The Pascal Show Clip. Make sure you're subscribed over there as well. Okay. That'd be greatly, greatly appreciated. All right. And hit that notification bell. Set it to all so you know whenever I go live, whenever I upload, because a lot of times it's random or it's breaking news. Okay. I know we've been doing the Diddy stuff lately, and that's been on the schedule. But other than that, everything's been random, like these riots and these protests. Okay. So please make sure you hit that notification bell and set it to all. Hit that join button, though. Set that up. Become a member if you can. Okay, a member of the family, the wonderful growing family that we have. Become a member. Check out my Patreon. And then, of course, check out PascalMerch.com. All right? We got some really great stuff over there. PascalMerch.com. Go check it out. Okay? Some really great stuff, including like hoodies like this. Okay? So go check it out. All righty. We've got to get into this because, of course, there's been a lot that's been going on. Tear gas has been deployed. People have been shooting commercial-grade firecrackers at Popo. It has been absolutely knuckin' futz. But we're here to go and get into this conversation. I'm going to show you guys a little bit of this. Before, it's a we're a few minutes behind. Okay, I scrolled it back a little bit because there's been a lot of reporting. I've been keeping an eye on everything, and there's a lot of commotion going on in downtown LA. And of course, it is 4 minutes after the 8 p.m. curfew has been activated. Okay, so it's going to be very interesting to see how everyone reacts and how things are popping off from this point on. I don't know about you, but this could be a very spicy night, or it could be a nothing night. We're going to see what happens here, okay? But let's get into this video here, okay? Because they have been, apparently, shots have been fired in this video, or at least during this live. The one thing I was hoping that it would never happen, would ever transpire to, which is people going and using pew-pews and pull that damn trigger. But I don't know yet. We got to take a look at this here and see what's really popping off here. So let's play a little bit of this here.
Andy, come here.
Sidewalk.
Okay. What are? Sorry.
Something's up there.
That sounds like gunshots, but that's just me.
What is this? Are these?
Somebody's up on the balcony and they were
Hi, it's Christina again. I'm calling back.
Here.
Okay. Bobby, you want to stand right here and then like pan up to me, or pan up to wherever? Do you see where they were firing shots at?
Yeah, right up there.
Yes, I got you.
So somebody is up on top of a building taking shots, y'all. Now, I'm curious, who are they aiming at? And has this person been detained or not? Right? Let me skip ahead a little bit here.
Ask them to take the video. Can you guys hear me? Can you guys hear me? Oh, am I on? Can you run that video that we sent you? The video. Okay, I'm gonna toss to it. Okay.
Let's go.
Yeah, that's right. That's what they've been doing off and on throughout this evening when protesters commit some extreme act of violence, hurling objects at them, throwing things, rocks, bottles, fireworks. This has been going off and on all night, and the crowd continues to be pushed back by these police officers that are doing their best to protect the community and property. It looked like somebody was possibly throwing something from one of these buildings, from the top of one of these buildings. And so officers, they had moved around, they moved forward, and they were looking up and just trying to make sure. I mean, just such a dangerous situation. I mean, we're here in downtown. You've got these condos and people in these condos watching what's happening. And so they're watching for potential bad actors from an elevated level. I mean, that's what they're dealing with. They're worried about potential threats, not only on the ground, but even higher in some of these buildings here in downtown LA. And this continues to be a very evolving situation. They're telling somebody to drop something right now. This is an example here. You know, the officers just trying to protect themselves again in this very, very fluid situation. And that's what the sheriff was talking about when he says his deputies are still facing dangerous situations. Since last Thursday, there have been more than 500 arrests in the LA area related to protest activity, many of them for failure to disperse, others for more serious charges, including looting, attempted murder with a Molotov cocktail, and assault with a deadly weapon on a police officer. If we have that video from earlier that we shot, you know, just showing some of the mayhem down here, if you could go ahead and roll that and just show what the police and sheriff's deputies, what they're having to deal with. Now, there have been some peaceful protests here in LA this week, and law enforcement was out in full force today to try and keep them that way. But, you know, here you go again. You've got this violence in the downtown area, and the No King's Day protest. There were at least 40 different events of those held in LA County. Law enforcement was aware of at least 200 of them statewide. And meantime, you got these Democrats continuing to criticize President Donald Trump for deploying 4,000 National Guardsmen and 700 Marines to the area. But as Trump administration officials say, they are here in LA to protect federal property. We're getting a message.
We've been taking rocks and bottles from that building right here. If you follow us, there's a good chance you're going to get hit with the bottle. I'm going to send people across the street, 2-3 at a time, all right? So let's go ahead and take this group right here, this small group, and walk across.
Okay.
Hold on.
Wow.
Okay. So that is,
Media, right?
Okay.
yes,
All
we're on
right.
media.
All right, LA.
So this is an example of
All right, LAPD.
police trying to guide us, help us, move us to safe locations as these protesters continue to move. And what I was talking about at the beginning of this live shot, possibly things being lobbed at them from an elevated level.
Crazy,
That's what we're talking about here. Andy's getting a shot so you could see how tall that building is right here above this intersection. So law enforcement looking out for that, trying to make sure no one is up there trying to commit any acts of violence. But again, going back to what the Trump administration said about federal intervention, about having the National Guard and Marines here, they say it was needed to address the, quote, lawlessness that has been allowed to fester during the riots here in LA. And their federal partners, they say they're going to continue. Let me scoot back just a little bit. They say they're going to continue to enforce immigration law. They're going to continue with these immigration sweeps to do what is necessary.
Good
they said
evening,
to
everybody.
keep
Thank you so
the
much for being here.
community safe. They've already arrested, they say, a number of illegal aliens with prior criminal histories that include drug trafficking, assault, cruelty to a child, domestic violence, robbery, and smuggling. They say that was some of the prior criminal histories for some of the illegal aliens that they have arrested during these immigration sweeps here this week that protesters continue to call out and say they want stopped. Again, Trump administration officials saying they are trying to keep the peace and trying to help keep the area safe. So here we are again. We're at this intersection. We're 8 minutes away from when that curfew was supposed to go into place. Earlier, just hours ago, they had they issued a dispersal order because of the violence that erupted here. And it's unclear how long this goes on tonight. It really is. I mean, people just keep moving around. Yes.
Could go on for hours and hours. Hold on, guys. I'm just gonna look.
Sorry.
That's
okay. We got an update. Hold on. Don't worry. We're coming right back to this. I promise, because there's a lot of stuff going on in LA. But apparently, thank you to Jasmine. I appreciate the heads up. But they are saying that, yeah, there was somebody that actually was hit. There is somebody that was actually shot. Okay. In a rally in Salt Lake. Let's take a look.
On here in regards to Trump's tonight,
if possible,
the experience
of state
earlier, that view from
I'm just pulling
demonstrators pretty much dispersed then. I mean, are people still hanging out around there, or this big demonstration pretty much is all broken up and they're gone home now, or what's the latest out there? What can you see?
It has dispersed pretty well, Dan. There were.
Let me pause this really quick, just so you know, and for those of you that are just listening to the show. I appreciate you listening to the show. But they're saying one person critically injured in a situation in a shooting, okay, at this protest in Salt Lake City, just so you know. And what did I say? What did I say earlier today? I said I really would hope that no one gets the idea of bringing a weapon to bring that to a protest and then pulling out the pew-pew and then doing all kinds of bad things. You see what I'm saying? Hurting people and all that. Like, people are just out here, I get it. Now people are starting to act a fool, right? This is now that's starting to brew, right? But you would hope that there would be less chaos and people not losing their lives or getting critically injured. Let's continue.
There were thousands here for the protest. Maybe it started going down. People were heading home anyway because we were toward the end of this particular protest, of this event that was planned tonight. So a lot of people were already heading home. After the shooting, a lot of people stuck around because I know you felt like you went through something traumatic with a bunch of other people, and you're just kind of hanging around talking to each other about it. Like, what did you see? Can you believe this? What did you hear? I'm so happy we're okay. I feel so bad for the person that was shot. You kind of share your emotions with those who were there with you when it happened. So yes, there were still a few hundred protesters that were around, maybe even 1,000 protesters. Here goes another police car over here from Salt Lake City. And you just kind of share that with each other. But it's been more than an hour now. People have started going home. The scene where they brought somebody down, there were maybe a few dozen people that were part of the event that were still there. But just standing here another block away, waiting for police to chat with us, we've noticed people that were leaving and getting in their cars and going home.
Out there, and as soon as officers do show up to give us an update there, we'll come to you live there in that situation.
That's right. And as Alex was mentioning to us,
wow.
He is it felt very quickly with him from the moment that the shot was fired, that we saw that victim, to a man taken into custody. What we can tell you is that we saw a lot of this unfolding here from multiple camera angles inside the newsroom. And actually, when we took that first live look with Alex, we were looking at someone being handcuffed and then loaded into an ambulance. So it couldn't have been more than 15 to 20 minutes between that first shot and someone taken into custody.
Yeah, Chopper 5 here has been giving us that view,
Yes.
as we mentioned here earlier, that view from Chopper 5, that live location right there, that apparently is where the victim was hit by the gunshots. And right there between 100 and 200 South and State Street, and this happening just before the 8 o'clock hour, basically 7:58, 7:59, right around there. And right now we're still trying to determine if there's one victim, if there's more than that. Police have let us know that there's one person that's critically injured, as you see there on the screen, in this protest. We had some 10,000 people or so that were marching peacefully from Pioneer Park and making their way up State Street, heading north, as Alex said, then when suddenly the shots went out. But again, a live look here from Chopper 5 here of the actual scene of where that person was shot. Apparently, the officers were able to respond very quickly and arrest the suspect within minutes. That goes to show you just where they were located and the vantage point that officers had and how they were prepared for something like this.
To kind of had, because this crowd, its largest point had swollen to be so big, it was taking up 3 city blocks. And just before those shots were fired, we were watching this and just this incredible sea of people walking up and down State Street. They were headed towards the Wallace F. Bennett Federal Building, was our understanding. We did see them kind of circle around. So we were trying to see, maybe it's just so large they didn't know where to stop, maybe head back to Pioneer Park. And that's when these shots were fired, a person critically injured. If you are just now joining us, this is the area of State Street between 1 and 200 South, and you can expect blocks in every direction will be closed for the next several hours. Avoid the area if possible. If you have a loved one, someone that participated in this rally, you'll want to make contact with them, but give each other the space to get out of downtown at this hour. Police activity investigation unfolding here as they try to understand what happened. We've heard from organizers who quickly said, we called on a peaceful protest. This is an outlier, someone that was looking to be an agitator and frighten and cause violence in the community.
Yeah, we keep.
That's the ongoing issue, isn't it? right? You want to get some things going on. You want to protest peacefully and get people out there and all that stuff, and it's be there in solidarity, brother. But then there's always going to be somebody, right? There's always going to be somebody that's going to use that as an opportunity to act a damn fool. Okay, act a mother-loving fool. But take a look. We're going to play a little bit more, okay? And I got an article here that I'm going to read to you guys off camera here in just a minute.
You're trying to figure out where those sounds coming from.
Even Alex and Emma there. Let's get back to Emma Benson, who's there live at the scene. Emma, where are you at, and what do you see right now?
Hey guys, yeah, we're still here, 100 South and State Street. It looks like the crowd has mostly dispersed and cleared out. There were a lot of people earlier, but most of them have gone home.
It's over now.
Understandably so. It looks like there are still some police cars here. They have the area blocked off. I just want to point out that this is the area about right where it happened, where we heard the shots fired. People started running. It was just pure chaos, honestly.
Yep.
People just started running. I saw police officers run into the parking lot of that garage there of the building, Liberty Sky. It's an apartment complex. I saw them chasing someone into the parking garage. We are told again that that suspect is in custody. I did, however, see a body on the ground just on the street right here. That person was bleeding, and we were told that they have been taken to the hospital and are in critical condition. We don't know much more besides that at the time. We don't know if there were other victims. We've only been told about that one person, and we don't know if there was more than one shooter or not. We only know about the one shooter who was taken into custody. As Alex mentioned, though, police, law enforcement, they acted very swiftly. They jumped into action, trying to catch the person and administering aid to the person who was injured as well. A lot of swift, quick thinking people here at the protest, as they were very ultra prepared in case something like this were to happen. They were prepared for the worst, of course, as we've been talking about. The plan was for this to be peaceful, you know, and this happened, but unfortunately they were prepared for it. Again, most of the crowd has left by now. We still have lots of police officers here and people taking care of the scene, though. Back to you guys. All
right, thanks a lot, Emma Benson, for us there. And you've been watching some of the video there of the suspect apparently in handcuffs. This video, we don't know how he got injured or what happened there exactly.
We heard police yell garage, garage, and we saw them rush into that garage near to the Sky Apartments there on State Street.
And here's the video right here that we've been talking about here of the suspect in handcuffs.
I mean, that's one of the main things I think a lot of people are worried about when it comes to like massive groups getting together and doing stuff like this, showing up and doing this kind of stuff, right? It's one major concern, I'm sure, is that somebody's going to come in with a weapon and just cause chaos, right? And that's exactly what happened here in Utah, right? They still had a little bit of time left. I'm sure I don't think that there was ever a curfew enacted for Salt Lake City, but still, peaceful protest, no issues. Then all of a sudden, someone gets clipped, right? Which is someone gets popped, which is insane, right? Medusa, thank you so much for the super sticker. I really do appreciate it. Thank you so very much. But again, this is crazy, right? Let's hear this.
At tonight's protest in Salt Lake City is deeply troubling, active violence, and has no place in our public square. This is an active situation, and we're working closely with law enforcement to ensure accountability. So again, this is
definitely, I mean, the protest in Utah most definitely is over. Okay, that's without a doubt. Okay, so gunshots break out, and I'm reading this article off screen really quick. Okay, so shots are hold on, did I pause that by? No, still going. So again, gunshots break out in Salt Lake City, Utah during this protest. So they urge protesters police were urging protesters to disperse. So what they said, apparently from the department, police department, they said we can confirm the incident resulted in one person being critically injured. The patient is being taken to the hospital with life-threatening injuries. A Utah News Dispatch reporter that was on the scene saw the crowd scatter, with some shouting that they heard gunshots going off. A photojournalist also witnessed what appeared to be a victim lying on the street with several people administering aid. Actually, I do need to show this to you guys. Let me show this to you guys real quick, and then we'll go to this eyewitness here. Hold on. You guys need to see the footage. It's nothing graphic. It's not that bad. Okay. But these are the people. They ran to this person, right? And this is not looking good because look at the hat. Look at the hat over there. So they got hit, and they got hit bad. Okay, they got popped, and they got popped bad. So they said the department also said officers had a person of interest in custody. They urged people to leave the demonstration safely and orderly. So yeah, everyone dispersed, everyone ran, everyone was ducking behind anything they could duck behind. This is absolutely crazy. Okay, nonetheless. All right. So again, pretty sad situation. Let's just hear this. I think this is an eyewitness talking about what they saw. So let's take a listen.
So this is the last thing we want to see is violence at a protest. And again, I have no insight into what the motive might have been, but certainly when people show up, they want to march in peace generally, and we support that. And tensions have been high, so this certainly doesn't help cool the tone, but we want to try and take that down.
Right, and that's something, because I know there are a lot more protests planned down in the future. This is something, unfortunately, that's going to be back of everybody's minds now, where maybe they don't want to come out and do their civic responsibility or do what they want to do because this is in the back of their mind. This is fear.
I think that's right. I think, frankly, it was frustrating to see some of these preemptive conversations happening about how the state and other law enforcement agencies were really prepared so heavily for these things. I think that raises the mood and gets people worried to begin with, and raises tensions, and definitely keeps people at home in some cases. I mean, there was a large crowd here. There were a couple large crowds across the state today. And situations like this are not going to help people, encourage people to show up and express their opinions and political views peacefully in the future.
Nate, maybe last question for me. Where do you go from here? You know, as a state leader, what do you tell your constituents about what happened and where do we go from here?
Yeah, I think people need to keep showing up. I mean, we've seen the mood in this country is at a level that, you know, I'm a little bit younger than some, but I've not seen tensions like this before. And I think it really stems from, frankly, from one side of the debate that we're seeing. And so we need to move beyond that. We need to get this country back to a place where we can have civil debate. And we're not seeing that modeled by state and federal leaders primarily right now. And so we need some change.
Some temperature on both sides. Just we need to come together. I don't know how you do that, but we keep hearing that on both sides. But how do you do that, Nate?
Yeah, we need to come together. But also, I mean, I don't personally think this is a one-sided problem. I don't think this is a two-sided problem. I think this is a one-sided problem. And certainly we can all do better. But the violence seems to really be perpetrated more from one side than another from what I'm seeing. And after what's happened in the last few hours across the country, I really hope we can acknowledge that we need to think about that and try to move beyond what we've got right now.
Okay. Nate, thank you very much for your time. We appreciate you. Take care. So you heard that was State Senator Nate Bluin just talking about, he was here. This isn't his district. He was just here as a citizen as part of the protest.
You saw that too, right? I mean, he was just like, hey, we need to find a way to find a common ground. And then then suddenly it was like, oh, it's a one-sided thing. It's like, okay. This is a one-sided problem. This is not the other side's problem. It's their problem. If you're going to say, hey, we need to get together, find a common ground and find a way to discuss things, the first thing you don't do is point fingers, right? You go, okay, if you say, hey, we should find an even ground, then let's find that even ground, right? Step in the wrong direction is going, it's that side's problem. It's like, no, it's everybody. No, it's everybody. It's everybody. It's everyone. Let's keep it a bean. Okay. But let's continue. Okay.
Statement here. The violence we've seen today in Salt Lake City and elsewhere in the country is horrific. It's just not who we are.
Okay. So we heard that. Okay. We got to go back to LA because I'm just going back to where we started or where we left off real quick because there is a lot of stuff going on for sure. But there was an actual.
That's right.
incident.
Every single minute, incredibly dangerous. If somebody did in fact drop, rocks, concrete, just any kind of object from that elevated level here on those officers, who knows how that could turn out? Just extremely dangerous. It's like we were seeing in Paramount last Saturday. You had protesters, rioters throwing boulders and cement at officers, at law enforcement vehicles. I mean, that could have caused a crash. That could have killed someone. So this is the extreme violence that we're talking about. And if someone in fact is doing that, again, so much surveillance video, so many surveillance cameras around here, law enforcement is going to comb through that evidence. And that could be, a potential assault with a deadly weapon on a peace officer, right? I mean, these are serious charges, and law enforcement, they say they're not going to put up with it. They are not going to accept this extreme violence. Back to you.
This is nuts. It's absolutely nuts. Don't forget to hit that like button down below, please, and thank you guys. Okay, that would really mean the world to me. Let's get it to 1K if we can. See a bunch of y'all in here. I appreciate you guys coming through. We're here to talk about things. We're here to cover this stuff and have the conversations that we need to have.
It appears that they're trying to separate. It appears that they were trying to separate those very large crowds, and they were very effective in doing so, deploying the tear gas and the rubber bullets. That's what they were doing, and they were very successful in that effort. And compared to the thousands of people that were here hours ago, and how few people I'm seeing at this intersection right now, I would say their method is very, very effective. Lots of law enforcement here, huge presence. You have LAPD, you have sheriff's deputies. It sounds like we're hearing sirens about to come by right now. I'm not sure what is going on around the corner, but I would say they are doing an incredible job in a very unpredictable and dangerous situation. And also in terms of clearing them out, I mentioned they are trying to get them to leave. They have been calling for people to disperse. They want people to leave this area. And again, that's why they issued that curfew, city officials, from 8 p.m. to 6 a.m. For a mile around downtown LA. I believe they will. Now, I have not seen that happen yet. I have not been out here since this curfew has been in place. But when you're disobeying law enforcement, you're disobeying orders, that is what happens. And so, we're waiting to see what takes place next. I will tell you, in this intersection, it is cleared out. It is cleared out from what it was even just a half hour ago. So they are effective in their efforts here to move people away and stop them from gathering en masse in these locations throughout various points of downtown. And so it seems like things are safe here. But again, things could change at a moment's notice. So we're just continuing to monitor it all.
Everybody, we're trying to clear the roof right now. All right, we have people throwing bottles over the roof, so we're going to clear the roof and then we'll move forward. Okay, so just be patient, everybody.
Okay, sorry. So it would just take it. You're just listening to police there. They said they're going to clear the roof and then move us forward. I'm getting out of the way so Andy can get a direct line of vision of this intersection that they have so heavily guarded. I saw a couple more things being tossed at officers. I'm not sure what directions they are coming from, but yes, at night you definitely have that criminal element. You have opportunists that come in and take advantage of the situation, the looting, the vandalism. I was there too in Ferguson on the ground night after night, and you had a lot of that, unfortunately, and that is how it is played out here some nights. And so police doing their best, law enforcement doing their best to try and curb that violence. Again, these business owners, they've been through so much. I passed some of them that were boarded up in anticipation of what could happen here tonight. So we just have to hope and pray that people, just try and listen and follow the law. I mean, if they care at all about the messaging they say they are so passionate about, they wouldn't be out here committing this violence.
Yeah, I think that's the problem. Honestly, I think that's the problem, is that the people that go out there and they put in the time, they put in the effort, they put in the peaceful effort out there, all what they're saying is going to go and become nothing. If people decide, I was literally about to say that, T, what up, man? If they literally decide to make this be the purge, right? If they go to that level of like, okay, it's time to wreak havoc. Oh, anarchy. That's what I want. Anarchy. You know, there's people out here that just want to loot and riot just for the sake of loot and rioting. They don't care about who's out there protesting. They don't care about what the message is. They just want to cause chaos for the sake of chaos. It could be hardcore right-winged individuals out there. It could be a mass group of people out there protesting. Let's just say if it was Biden in office at the time, right? All people anti-Biden, right? All MAGA, nothing but red hats, seas of red hats, right? There'd still be crazies out there utilizing this opportunity to act a fool. You see what I'm saying? And that's the sad part of this whole thing, right? That's the sad damn part of it, right? Because there's people out here that are going to use this opportunity to capitalize on chaos just because they can. We got more from LA. I'm pulling that up. Let's take a look. We got more. You know what's interesting about this is that, let me turn it up a little bit. Okay. Yeah. I always think about the cops too. Like, they're all there, and there's some of them, I'm sure, just like, man, I don't even want to be here, bro. Man, I really don't want to be here, man. I want to go home, right? But here's the thing. This is LA. Reminder. It is 8:36 p.m. in Los Angeles. So the curfew is in effect right now as we speak. And people are still out here. My question is, if these people decide to stick around just so that they can get arrested, are they going to be able to have enough time and personnel to arrest every single person that defies this 8 p.m. curfew tonight? Will they have enough zip ties to arrest every single person? Real talk. Hamburger. And I'm waiting for when they make their move. You feel me? When the cops make their move, everyone's going to start running. I'm telling you, as soon as they move 1 inch forward, a bunch of people are just going to run. Okay? This is crazy. I'm waiting for the crump dancing to start happening. I'm waiting for somebody to start doing some You know, some crump dancing, angrily crump dancing. You know what I'm saying? We've seen that before in the past. I'm waiting for that again. I'm waiting for that. Or the girl who was doing yoga, buck naked. Nobody remembers this? Right in front of the cops, right at the line. She's just dancing and just completely nude. Just doing yoga moves and stuff. That was a few years ago, too. That's insane, y'all. That's insane. Do me a favor, guys. Don't forget to hit that like button down below, please and thank you. Hit that like button down below. Crush it, okay? Please and thank you. Also, don't forget to subscribe. Subscribe. I'm like, this is probably the spot that we should keep an eye on for sure as it continues to percolate. Because it's only going to build from here for sure. With all this chaos, with all these people here. And I wish this cameraman would like pan around and show, okay, just show how many people are there. Oh, I thought he was going to do it. I was like, damn, he heard me. That's weird. People mad. They angry. They upset. They're pissed. They want justice. For what? I don't know. But yeah, they're mad. They're mad. I don't know why they cut to this. But don't worry, we're going to come back to this. We're coming back. We're going to come back to that. For sure. We're going to come back to that. For sure. Yep. They were using tear gas in LA and everything. Look at that.
Hey, Black, how you're balding? Fuck Trump! Fuck Trump! Fuck Trump! Fuck Trump! Fuck Trump! You go home, bitch! Fuck Trump! 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 Fuck Trump!
What are they going to say next? F Trump? I think we all got the idea there. Hold on. There's more. Oh, there's more. Oh, trust and believe there is more. Okay, we got stuff going on in Santa Ana as well. Let's take a look at this. Santa Ana. Well, they just showed like they're like marching and stuff. Hold on. Look at that. Santa Ana. Yeah, you know what? The cameraman, yeah, you ain't wrong with that. This will only embolden the other side even more. You know? Let's keep it a bean. Look at that. That's a lot of people, y'all. That's a lot of people. Pretty interesting stuff. There's no sound of this one, but it is interesting nonetheless that people are out here. They are most definitely out here. Oh, there's some. Yeah, I've always been curious if you guys want me to cover the stuff that's going on in Israel, Iran, Israel situation. Definitely curious about that because there is a lot going on over there too. But and some of this footage is not fully up to date from what I'm seeing. But let's take a look at this. Oh, snap. Hold on. I'm pausing this so we can see this. Hold on. Hold on, guys. Whoops, wrong thing. Damn. Let's go. Come on. Take a look at this. Downtown LA. Tear gas deployed. While they're saying peaceful protest. What the hell? That ain't peaceful. That was loud.
The skirmish lines with police. What's that protocol like? Who handles what with the National Guard?
No, great question, and I've heard a lot of different accounts from different people on TV. But the reality is, they have a mission separate from ours. The National Guard and the Marines then embedded together, and their job is to protect federal employees, federal facilities, and federal functions, not to do what we do in the city of Los Angeles, which is to protect public safety in our communities. So two different missions, two different silos, if you will. We're not working with them on immigration enforcement in any way, and they're not working with us on crowd control in the city streets.
Now, again, as that curfew went into place at 8 o'clock, we're getting closer to the 9 o'clock hour. What's the plan moving into tonight? How many officers are out
Good
here
question.
on the streets, and what are we looking for?
Yeah, there's a lot of officers out here on the streets. I wouldn't give a number. That wouldn't be probably prudent, but our folks are out here deployed very heavily. We still have mutual aid resources with us, primarily the CHP and the LA County Sheriff's Department. We work very close together. We have a unified command where we have people from a whole variety of organizations, and they weigh in on whatever it is they can do to be helpful in taking care of business and making sure that the community's safe for everybody.
I know you're still collecting information. Any update on arrests that you've made so far today? I know there have been hundreds since these demonstrations started over a week ago.
Yeah, much less today, and I don't have a final count on it, but we've seen a couple of days there where we had in excess of 200 arrests a day, and that has gone down dramatically, I think, in large part due to the curfew. And so as we continue, our hope is not to have to make arrests, that people will comply and leave the area and make sure that things are safe. But for those who want to stay, want to cause trouble, we're going to find them and we're going to arrest them, and they will be held accountable. And for many of the people who think they've gotten away with a lot of the violence that's been done, there are cameras everywhere, and we will scour those to be able to find the people who hurt other people, assaulted officers in particular.
I know there's been at least one report of a sheriff's deputy being injured. Any of your officers injured?
Oh, yeah, we've had, I believe, the latest 10 officers injured to some degree. But I'll tell you, we've had people drive into them in the crowd. We've had people have Molotov cocktails are being used. We've had commercial-grade fireworks being shot at them, hit in the face with rocks and bottles. And, they get treated medically and get back out in the field and get into the mix again. The spirit is great. I have so much admiration for our folks, the restraint that they've shown out there since we've been out here, and just their willingness to be able to put themselves in harm's way to protect the community. Really impressed.
You have a long history in law enforcement, but you've been in this position. You're fairly new as the police chief here. How does that play into your approach here?
I grew up in this organization. I spent 29 years here, my first trip, and then went to Long Beach PD for 5, was sheriff for 4, and consulting and working at USC at a think tank on public safety issues. And to be able to be back in the environment that meant so much to me, was so much a part of who I am, I feel blessed and honored.
And lastly, your message to the demonstrators who feel that maybe they're being pushed off the streets unjustly. They want to be out here. They're calling for free speech and say, they deserve to be out here. I know there's a curfew, but many of them feel that they're being pushed back up before they should be.
Yeah. No, curfew is not declared unless things are of sufficient seriousness that it's not to the benefit of the overall community to allow people to be out after 8 o'clock, hours of darkness. And so we look at that, we reevaluate that every day. Ultimately, the mayor will make the decision on that. But it's been a great tool for us to preserve businesses so they're not vandalized at night. And ultimately, I think it's been a tremendous help to us in getting to where we are this far.
Chief, we have Gigi Graciette and Christine Devine on the news desk right now. We definitely appreciate you joining us out here again on such a busy night, but we want to, if you guys have any questions back there on the desk for the chief here, we are standing by.
Mario, if you could please ask the chief, we had one of the organizers of the No Kings Los Angeles protest on just a short while ago, and he seemed to imply that it was the LAPD who escalated the violence. And we heard calls here at the station of officers taking frozen bottles, rocks, and bricks being thrown at them. Does he want to respond to that so we have some clarity?
Yeah,
interesting.
Earlier, they had heard from one of the No Kings Day organizers here in downtown LA saying that it was the LAPD that initially agitated things with rubber bullets or tear gas. What's your response to that notion that the LAPD is is pushing back ahead of time.
Yeah, absolutely not. We have so many people out here making sure that things go right. The restraint that I've seen shown is remarkable, really, when I see what our officers are subjected to on and on and on throughout the day, now over a week period of time. And so, we
That's
look
quite the
very closely at that.
allegation.
We make sure we hold our officers to a high level of accountability. And I'm very comfortable that that is not the case. And I think
Interesting.
anybody watching TV for any length of time on this whole event as it played out, no, that's not the case.
That is
Got a
quite
question?
the claim. That's
So
quite
if
the
we can
allegation.
Let the chief know it's Christine Devine with Gigi, because we've all together have covered, as I've mentioned before, decades of news in Los Angeles and many a protest in Los Angeles going back to the 1992 riots with Rodney King's situation. My question for the chief is, this is not going to end tonight because Homeland Security is still doing its operations. What are his concerns moving forward?
Yeah, Christine Devine on the desk, recalling the 1992 riots, and with these immigration raids moving forward, demonstrators say they're not stopping here. Right. What are your concerns moving forward ahead with these demonstrations that are continuing to be planned here?
Well, number one, that they remain peaceful. We're here to support anybody's right to demonstrate, to protest, and to express their First Amendment rights. That's what we do. For those who cross the line and try and hurt others, try and vandalize the environment or cause havoc, we're going to be able to identify them and hold them accountable for that. And I'm fairly comfortable that now we'll start to see fewer and fewer people engaging in that activity and make it easier for us to be able to identify them and make arrests.
Question. So if people are capturing things on video, they're posting it on social media, that they feel the officer in that shot might have done something that was not in policy, how does the chief and the department address that if something is perceived as being not in policy?
Yeah, Christine's asking if someone does maybe videotape record any action between demonstrators and officers that might not follow protocol. Right. How is that handled? Maybe body-worn camera footage. Is there a point where that will be shared at all?
Oh, no, absolutely. There's so many cameras in the environment a police officer operates in.
So
when they're
many.
in the vehicles, they have digital in-car camera video. They have body-worn camera on their body. And then you go anywhere and there's cameras in the environment. And when there's an investigation to be done, we look for all of that video to be able to put the whole story together, either substantiate an allegation or refute it and be able to move on from there. And so the level of accountability for police officers today, I would say, is unlike any other profession. I don't know of anyone else who wears body cameras in the course and scope of their duty.
And one more question, if I may, if the chief will allow. People from
They got a
around
lot
the
of
nation,
questions.
around the world are watching this. I think probably, Mario, you've had people text you and say, are you okay? How's it going? What would the chief say about what's happening in Los Angeles? When I have relatives who write and call me, how are the riots? What would the chief say about his view of what's happening? What would he say to the nation?
Yeah, your view to the nation on what's happening, considering people from all over the country, all over the world might be watching this and checking in on people who live here, wondering exactly what's going on. How would you describe what's playing out here?
It's very localized. I think the way it's portrayed in many media outlets is that LA is upside down. It's on fire. It's chaotic. It's, I would say, all of this activity that has been portrayed over the past week, it is occurring within 1 square mile. The city's 500 square miles, and we're getting a handle on this and taking appropriate action. So I would say, come out and see. This is the most beautiful city in the world. We have so much to offer here, and what you're seeing is not descriptive of what LA truly is.
And while you have the chief there, before we, okay, you're letting him go? May I ask one more question? We
got one
know,
more. Go ahead.
We know President Trump has sent in the National Guard. There are Marines in town. The question for the chief is, what is his response at this hour on this night to the president who says that we need the National Guard here or LA would be burning?
Yeah, Trump has said that he sent the National Guard here for good reason. Otherwise, the city would be burning. Hundreds of Marines are now here as well. What's your message to the administration and President Trump as he continues to tout his push of the military force here?
It wouldn't be to the president, but it would be to the public that the mission of the Army National Guard and the Marines that have joined them is very different than our mission. Their focus is to protect federal facilities, federal employees, and federal functions. And they're doing that, working with ICE and other agencies that have been deployed as well. Our mission is to protect the city of Los Angeles and keep communities safe, to be able to restore order in the case of this past week, and to be able to move forward in a more productive way.
And you continue to stand by, you and your officers have things under control.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, while you see incidents of what appear to be horrendous disorder, it is very localized, and we are moving in where we can to be able to arrest the people who are doing those acts. And again, the message to those who've done things here, we're coming for you. The investigation is not over. We will follow up and hold people accountable beyond what they believe will happen.
All right, I'm done.
Thank
you, Mario.
She's like, I'm officially now. I've
And
asked everything.
Chief, LAPD Chief
Good
Jim
questions,
McDonald,
though.
Mario Ramirez joining us live from downtown Los Angeles. You are looking live at a much different scene. This is on Hill Street right now, and no protesters in sight. It has been a slightly chaotic afternoon after a day of peaceful protests here in Los Angeles and across the country. We're going to have much more coming up on Fox 11 News with Christine Devine.
Be right back with that. There is more going on elsewhere, so I want to show that to y'all. Whoa. Yeah, that you got Santa Ana shutting things down, shutting places down. Hold on. Yeah, I have that already. Check this out.
Hey, I see it. We're gonna push this crowd this way. Not media, let's go that way. All of you, no. Come back south, this way. Hey, hold.
Okay, so they're waiting on that. Hold on, we're we're hopping around, guys. We're hopping around. You got to see. Well, Santa Ana just shut down, but in the last few seconds of it, it was lit. Let me just show you a still of it. Show what Santa Ana looks like so far. This is Santa Ana right now. Okay, so protest in Orange County. and people are just litty right now. Okay, litty, and it's Saturday night. Let's not forget that Saturday night. They got time. They got time on their hands. They ain't got nothing to do. Hold up. Some of these are just like, some of them are just like repeats of things that are kind of old, if that makes any sense. Like old videos from earlier today, if that makes any sense. And they keep repeating the same kind of footage that we've been seeing all over and over again. The flashbangs, etc. Let's take a look at this real quick. This is from earlier, it looks like. Let's take a look. Cops on horses. Wow. Wow. What's up, everybody? Yeah, I already said that. This is old footage. This is from earlier. But I was just showing it to you guys because this is the stuff that's being on repeat. They're kind of replaying the same stuff over and over again. Okay. But of course, I'm trying to get to the stuff. Trying to get to the action. See, like I said, they keep repeating the same stuff over and over again. And maybe everybody went home. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe everybody, but you saw a little bit ago, people were sitting there saying, F you fascists and all that stuff, right? I mean, there definitely were people there like chilling. So I'm kind of wanting to know where the heck is the development, where's the update on that? But here's an update on the shooting that happened in Utah. Let's take a look at this.
During a permitted demonstration in Salt Lake City, a shooting occurred on 151 South State Street. Salt Lake City officers who were deployed to the event immediately responded after hearing gunshot wounds around 7:56 p.m. One person was found critically injured at the time. The individual's injuries are considered life-threatening. At the time of the shooting, officers received witness information that helped identify and locate the person involved in the shooting. Salt Lake City officers pursued this individual and safely took him into custody near 200 East and 100 South. The person taken in custody had a gunshot wound and was transported to the hospital under police watch. A short time later, 2 other individuals involved in the incident were also taken into custody.
I do want to say this too, really quick. There's a reason why I don't go like Porter. There's a reason why I don't go and use other content creators' content. It's because, you know, when it comes to the media, it's a little bit more fair game than it is with the other content creators. Other content creators feel some type of way when you start stealing their stuff. Real talk. You know what I mean? So that's the reason why we're on the media stuff. If I had a thumbs up on other people's stuff, I'd be using that too. Okay. But unfortunately, that's not the way the cookie crumbles when it comes to the tubes of YouTube.
At this time, there are no known outstanding individuals involved in the incident and no known ongoing threats to the public. I just want to thank our officers who responded to the incident tonight and who are involved in keeping the demonstration safe up until this point. Their rapid response ensured the safety of thousands of participants here in the downtown Salt Lake City area tonight. We're extremely grateful to the Utah Highway Patrol, the Salt Lake County Sheriff's Office, and many other officers who came from other agencies to assist here in Salt Lake City tonight. The events leading up to the shooting, leading up to the shooting, were very peaceful. The event organizers worked closely with us at the Salt Lake City here at Salt Lake City, and up until the point of the shooting, there was no indication of any problems.
Good evening. I want to start by thanking the Salt Lake City Police Department and the Salt Lake City Fire Department for their swift and professional response to this tragic event. And I want to thank Chief Red for his leadership tonight. The violence that we've seen here today in Salt Lake City and even in other parts of this nation is horrific, and it is not who we are. Let me be clear, this act of violence does not define our city. The purpose of today's demonstration was powerful and a peaceful expression until this event, and that cannot be overshadowed or silenced by a single act meant to harm. I want to urge everyone in the public to be calm, to give one another grace, and to look out for one another tonight and in the coming days. To our Salt Lake City police officers and our Salt Lake City firefighters, I thank you for your heroic actions. You are among the best in this city, and I am so proud of you. To those who came downtown today to speak up and march and stand peacefully together, your city sees you. Thank you for using your voice. Thank you for your peaceful cooperation with our police department tonight. And please know that your calm response and your support of their efforts likely prevented a more dangerous potential situation. You represent the Salt Lake City that I am proud to call home. We will not walk in fear of one another, not in this city and not in this nation. America, we are better than this violence. We are stronger than this hate. This moment does not define us. Thank you for being here tonight, and we'll take questions.
Chief, the 4 people involved, were they shooting at each other, shooting into the crowd? Do you know just how did they know each other, Chief?
That is all under investigation right now. It's too early to say.
Why were the other 2 taken into custody?
They were involved.
Involved how?
Well, that's under investigation currently.
Were any of them participating in the protest, or were they just near it?
It appears they were, involved at some level in the protest, or at least as part of the group that was walking.
The initial suspect that you took into custody that had the gunshot wound, how did he get the gunshot wound?
That's what we're still investigating. It's too early to say right now. I'm sorry. Yes, I should clarify. Officers, as far as we understand at this point, officers did not shoot, do any shooting.
Chief, any word or anything on a motive as to why?
Again, it's just so early right now. Fortunately, we have everyone involved in custody, and we're going to be sorting that out. We also had a lot of witnesses, and we're talking with the witnesses as well to see what we can learn.
Chief, it sounds like some of the witnesses helped take this person into custody. Is that accurate, or what was their involvement in helping you track this person down?
Well, they certainly gave us descriptions of a description of the individual, and I don't know at the time he was taken into custody if anyone was involved other than our officers. I'm not sure.
They chase him down or point him out in some way?
Yeah, they gave us a description. Our officers were quickly able to see that individual, and then there was a pursuit, and they eventually found him.
Mayor, if we could ask you a question, Mayor. Aaron, where do we go from here? Because there are more protests. There are more people that want to express on either side. Where do we go from here, Mayor?
We had thousands of people come out today, not only in Salt Lake City, but in protests around the state, protests around this nation. And they were by and large peaceful demonstrations. We are a nation that needs our First Amendment right. We deserve to be able to protest in peace. And what happened today, I hope, will not silence the voices of the public who deserve to have their voices heard. And Salt Lake City and our police department, our fire department will continue to make this place, this front yard of the state of Utah, as safe as possible for those protests to continue peacefully.
What did Governor Cox say to you? And he tweeted today that he had.
I gave Governor Cox a call this evening to give him a brief update as we're giving you right now. And he was grateful for the information and expressed gratitude for our first responders and their good work tonight.
Chief, another question for you. Those first
Okay, that's enough for that. Good, we get the general idea. Yeah, I mean, I'm even looking at people who are like, content creators that are covering this as well. And a lot of them are have left away from the chaos. You know what I mean? But, a lot of them have been, streaming for 9 hours straight, which is phenomenal that they're able to do that. Like I said, some of these guys have rigs that are just these live stream rigs that are just like these remote live stream rigs that are just phenomenal. Man, I want one so bad. So that I can do more, boots on the ground type stuff, but those rigs are expensive, y'all. Those rigs are very expensive. Let's take a look at this. It's more chaos. Let's go. It's still nothing happened. They're just chanting. You failed what? What did they say? See, and then I don't know. It feels like either they're just looping the same crap over and over again. That's the vibe I'm getting, that they're just looping the same crap over and over and over again. Let's see what's going on in Utah. More stuff.
Is a verb, and that requires action, and they deserve to be safe in doing that and being here, and no one should have to worry about their safety in doing that, especially if they're being peaceful. And yeah, we forget that we're all human. We're all human, we're all complex, we all have our reasons, but at the end of the day, we need to be loving and respect people and honor them, and that's what the Most High would want for whoever your God is. Like, that's usually what any type of religion preaches, is that we treat people with respect, dignity, and we don't hurt them, no matter how triggered we feel. It's not okay.
Yeah, well, I appreciate you, Danielle, sharing your thoughts here as you came in and saw this crime scene. She was not with the protesters earlier today, but you did hear about what happened, and so I appreciate you sharing your thoughts. Looks like we have another person who, again, also tried to go underneath the tape. It looks like, can you take the camera over there? It looks like they are putting this person in handcuffs across the street here. He may be being detained right now. I can't see very clearly, but it's right across the street from us. It looks like he tried to cross underneath the crime scene tape and was refusing to go back.
They have
it looks like security is possibly detaining him here. Okay. Sorry, what was that? Were you guys talking to me? I'm losing my IP here for a second. Okay. Yeah, looks like police are escorting him down the street there. I'll toss it back to you, Garnet and Dan, for now.
Thank you so much, Emma. We appreciate you. We hope you continue to stay safe out there.
Now.
We just received this conference, got new update from the mayor.
We already heard about the press conference, but you got to understand. I mean, as things continue to progress, like this isn't over yet. They get done tonight. Maybe they take tomorrow off, because it's Father's Day and whatnot. I mean, right now, Shogun, what up, man? Long time. But right now in East Coast, it's Father's Day. So happy Father's Day to all y'all. All you fathers that are out there that are wearing both hats, all mothers out there that are also wearing the dad hat too. Shout out to you guys too. Real talk. You know what I mean? You guys deserve this time too, because you guys wear both hats, dag nabbit. All right. But yeah, so right now, maybe everyone's going to take tomorrow off and it's going to be chill, or maybe it'll just continue being chaotic. I don't know, but I don't think it's going to be, but that's the thing. I don't think that this is going to slow down. And MLB, let me just say this really quick, since you are asking that question. I am kind of interested in checking out and covering the Iran-Israel war as well. I've thought about it. Maybe I just put it in the chat and, as a poll or something like that. I don't know, to see if you guys want me to cover it. No, we ain't talking about Russia or Ukraine. No. But everything that's going on with Israel and Iran is just getting crazy, right? So I've been interested in just covering it. Okay. Not putting my 2 cents in it, just covering the chaos, because missiles are being launched every day and all of that. It's getting bad out there. So I've thought about it, thinking about it though, let's see.
Them go into handcuffs. Looks like they're sitting on the side of this planter right here on the street of 100 South and State Street. But we've seen this a number of times. People are just passing through the caution tape.
Yeah, I mean, some people are just trying to get arrested for this. It seems like some people are just trying to get arrested for the sake of getting arrested. You know what I mean? Like, some people are just like, I just want to get arrested for the cause. I don't care. I just want to get arrested for the cause. It's like, okay, if that's what you really want to do, all right then. Okay, I'm going to share a little bit of this. People marching. Say that, unfortunately, but you guys can see people are still out there. People are still out in the streets. Showing people protesting. 1 second, y'all. Also, just so you guys know, I do have just going to share some of this. So I did post at the top of the chat. I did a video giving you guys some more updates about this alleged suspect in the lawmakers that lost their lives, right? In that incident. The guy is still out there on the lam. He is still on the run. He left a very cryptic message to his best friend of since fourth grade. We find out more about his political affiliation, his political background, etc. So I just say, please go check out that video if you are at all interested in hearing more about what's going on in this whole with that whole situation in Minnesota. Okay, but from what we're hearing now from media, they're saying that that guy was a Trump supporter and voted for Trump. Okay. And I know that that's something that a lot of people were wondering. Well, if he was a Democrat or working closely with Tim Walz, why would he go off and just off Democratic elected officials, right? And the thing is that's the question I had too. It just doesn't make any sense. But now it's starting to make a little bit more sense with the fact that what his political, where he stands politically, that could very well be what happened and why. He could just be radicalized because of that. We don't know, or it could just be one big ruse. We don't know, right? But nonetheless, go check it out when you get the time. Please and thank you. But yeah, they just keep looping the same stuff, which is kind of frustrating, of course, because you want to see what's really going on right now. But I guess everyone's just kind of going home, or at least the people that are covering what's going on, they are all pretty much just going home. All of them. Let's see. Let's take a look at this.
I think we're good. I think we're good.
85 Roger.
Got the bike cops right behind him. Big Mac on hitspam.com. Thank you, bro.
Great reporting, John. Stay safe.
Thank you, boss. We move up a little bit, but this is about as good as it's going to get for us.
No,
Sorry, I keep thinking the mic's in. I know you guys can't hear me. I got to get all the way close.
I don't know if it's going to be going on tomorrow. You know what I mean? I don't know if more stuff is going to be going on tomorrow, or if there's going to be, you know what I mean, or if everything's going to be just kind of quiet and at a stalemate for Father's Day. I don't know. But if it does continue to percolate, we will be talking about it for sure. Okay, that's without question. But I think that this is where I am going to step off of this ride. Because right now it doesn't look like it's going to get any crazier, at least for now. Because it looks like everything is like I said, everyone's just starting to go home. But I think if chaos continues to ensue and like escalate even more, I will definitely be talking about it. We will definitely be covering it. But right now, everything's kind of chill for now. I mean, well, we hop around to 15 different places. Let me show you what I mean. Just really quick. You know what I mean? Like, they're just standing by. They're just sitting there waiting. And it looks like a lot of people are just kind of, and this is in downtown Spokane, Washington, and it looks like everything's just kind of chilling out for right now. Yeah. I mean, like I said, I'm just looking around to see if there's anything else. And a lot of things are just kind of repeats of the same crap. So, yeah, I think, and this would only be fitting to play this because I say this guy's name a couple times whenever I talk about Agnifilo. Okay, whenever we talk about Diddy. Okay, Mark Agnifilo, Janine Garofalo, Mark Ruffalo. He apparently was at one of these protests. I'm just showing him because I think it's funny. Okay, but here he is.
Democracy in the pursuit of life, liberty, and happiness, and we believe in freedom of speech. We love being American. We love the United States, even with all its imperfections, because it was founded on the idea of rejecting monarchy, of saying no to concentrated, unchecked power. And yet here we are, generations later, still watching a handful of people decide who gets freedom, who is allowed to live in dignity, and who doesn't. Total U.S. billionaire wealth is up 88% in the last 4 years. The people who were already endlessly wealthy got richer, and that took money out of the hands of the majority of hard-working Americans. It's just numbers on a screen to these billionaires, but that's money that could put food on a family's kitchen table, pay for someone's dialysis or diabetes medication. It could pay for a nanny or daycare when two parents or a single parent is working. That money could pay for someone's elderly parents to have a dignified final chapter of their lives.
I don't know the two girls' names, but these two girls are comedians, and they were from the TV show Broad City. It was like a sitcom that they were on Comedy Central a while back. And I mean, they've done a bunch of other movies and stuff like that too. But yeah, they're here to speak with Mark Ruffalo, which I think is interesting. And if you know anything about Mark Ruffalo and his X account, or maybe he doesn't have X anymore, I don't know, but he's pretty hardcore liberal. He's known to put out some things on his X account that have caused quite the stir. Let's just say that. Okay. But yeah, so celebrities are out there speaking out as well, and making their voices heard too. But see, that's what I'm saying. One thing's for sure. I mean, it's still tragic that that there was a casualty. Not a casualty, but that there was an actual pulling of a trigger from a pew-pew. That is absolutely insane. That we have somebody who is critically injured and is fighting for their life in a hospital right now as we speak, just because they were at a place where it's supposed to be a peaceful protest. It's supposed to be a peaceful gathering of people saying what they want to say and getting their voices heard on this particular day. And that's it, right? But unfortunately, it turns into this, right? It turns into a situation where it goes from peaceful to borderline deadly because someone feels the need to bring out a weapon to a peaceful protest. These are the things that I get scared about, okay? These are the things that I get worried about whenever it goes down for a specific type of protest. Because here's the thing. We don't know who that person was that was holding that weapon. That could be somebody who's standing right there with the victim in solidarity. And then suddenly they just butt heads and bad things happen. Or it's somebody who doesn't agree with what the people are protesting about and decided to pick somebody to cause issues with. And then they pulled out that weapon and they pulled the trigger, right? And that is a big problem. That's so sad. And that's not what we need to happen. We need to start taking care of each other and be respectful of each other's opinions. But unfortunately, we don't live in that world. We need to change that for sure. Like what that guy said, in the Salt Lake, I don't know. I think he was I think it was I think it was an elected official or something like that too. But anyway, he said a lot of right things until he said the last thing that I didn't agree with, which kind of obliterated everything he was saying in the first place, which is we need to start working together and stop pointing the finger across the aisle and find a common ground. And everything doesn't have to be so polarizing. Everything doesn't have to be so political. We need to be better as a people. But then as soon as he said that, he said, oh, but there's a lot of certain people on a certain side. There's one side that's doing a lot. And it's like, no, it's everybody. It's everyone. Like, we need to find a happy medium. The one thing that we've forgotten on the table, let's say the table is the conversation. You and me are sitting on at that table. I have a certain opinion. You have an opposing opinion. That table should always have respect on it. But for some odd reason, as soon as everybody pulls up to this table, the respect is gone. The respect doesn't even exist anymore. And that's the biggest problem here. We just start pointing the finger and saying, oh, we create scapegoats, whipping boys, instead of actually saying, okay, let's talk about it. Just because I don't agree with you doesn't mean that I have to want to rip your head off. And in fact, it's like if we listen to each other more, maybe we walk away with some very interesting things to think about later on. But everybody wants to be the professor. Okay, everyone wants to be the professor or the expert in that specific conversation or debate that you're having with somebody, rather than just being the student and being willing to listen. And I'm talking about both sides. Let me learn something from you while you learn something from me. You may not agree with me, but these are the facts that I know. Okay, and then these are the facts that I know, right? Oh, that's interesting. I never thought of it that way. And that's it. But unfortunately, the blue side is violent. The red side are a bunch of racist a-holes, right? It's something of that sort, right? Sometimes the violence is coming from the other side too. I think it's reckless for us to sit there and just automatically assume that just because you vote for somebody that you are that person. You're the full embodiment of that party. I think that's ridiculous. But unfortunately, with all the stuff that we see on the internet, all the shows that we see, that we independently listen to and watch on the internet, and sometimes or a lot of times on TV as well, you get sucked into these echo chambers and it's hard to get out. But you know, and I know, if you are an independent thinker that thinks independently and critically for yourself, you got a good head on your shoulders, and you're always inquisitive. If you're an inquisitive mother lover like myself, then you're not going to get sucked into those echo chambers. You're just going to start asking questions and start talking and get curious and try to suck in as much information as you can from as many places as you can, because not one place has the answer, has the definitive answer. Not one place has the definitive answer, guys. There should always be a thirst for knowledge and a thirst to expand one's opinion about what's going on in the world. That's what it is. But people get comfortable and get complacent, and they just listen to what's being heard in their echo chamber, and they regurgitate it, and then guess where we are right now? Right where we are at, where people can't even go to a protest and go home alive. So I'm just waiting for the moment where everybody else gets on the same page as me and just starts asking questions. Maybe one day that will actually happen. Instead of hearing our elected officials start pointing fingers at other sides, basically saying, okay, we need to figure things out. That's it. Stop the sentence right there. You were doing so good, brother. Doing so good until you went even further to try to be like, it's that side. It's only one side. It's one main side that's the problem. Are you sure about that? Are you sure? Because I think we're all the problems. Both sides are the problems. And we all need to figure something out so we can live in this life in a copacetic and peaceful manner. Anyway, guys, that is the show. I appreciate all y'all. It means a lot. Let's see what happens tomorrow. But for those of y'all, happy Father's Day to every single last one of y'all. I hope it was an amazing one for you guys. Okay? Hopefully it was an amazing one. Okay? And we'll be talking soon. If anything's popping off here, we'll talk about it soon enough. All right? And you guys have a great Sunday. Enjoy your Father's Day. Call your father. Just check in on him if you're not going to be around him tomorrow. Okay? He'll appreciate it. So please do me a favor. Hit that like button down below. Crush that reaction button if you're watching on other platforms. That'd be greatly appreciated. Don't forget to hit that follow button on all those other platforms I'm on. I'm on Facebook, X/Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Rumble. Make sure you're following over there. Make sure you hit that subscribe button here on my main channel. Go to my second channel, The Pascal Show Clips. Subscribe over there as well. All right? Hit that join button down below. Become a patron. Become a member. Become a member of the family. Check out my Patreon. And, of course, check out PascalMerch.com. Okay? Okay. All right, guys. Well, I'll be talking to you guys soon. Have a great rest of your night. Get some rest. And if anything pops off tomorrow, we will talk about it, okay? If not, I will see you Monday for the Diddy trial. The saga continues. Anyway, it's time to get going. Be good to yourselves. Be good to one another. This is The Pascal Show. Bye.